Hey everybody, I have forgotten to loading up the book. Oh, isn't that great? Hello everybody, welcome tonight. We have been rushing. Richard totally wasn't late at all and hasn't thrown
No, of
everything
course not.
off and we're totally fine. Yep, grand, all's good. Welcome back everybody tonight to the pigsty. Richard got mistaken on the times because we were late last week and he thought that was the time. And yeah, anyone who knows Richard knows he doesn't own a watch. So
I own one.
just doesn't use it.
I know how to read it.
So, on that, Richard, do you want to give a wee synopsis for the new people that are here, who you are and what we're doing, and I'll find out where we are in the book.
Sure, that'd be great. For anyone who's new here, who doesn't know what's going on with this, that was called stalling for time. Okay, so the general idea of we're doing series of ancient religious stories, looking at them with what I think is the correct way to look at them. Obviously, I'm convinced of it. Nobody else is that I know of. As looking them as what I would call cryptic prophetic animism, which is that they're written like little fairy tales. That's fine. But the meaning of them, the intent of the story is so that at the end of the planet, at the end of time, they call end times, which is a bad name for it. Those fairy tales will flip over into reality because we have familiarity with colorful stories from our childhood, or the kind of stories that we give to children. So we're looking with that lens through all of these stories and seeing if I can piece and part them together, and how much I have to stretch to piece and part them together, which personally I think is very little or none, but opinions will vary.
And on a personal note, I see the beard in the chat is quite happy to be looking grey again. You've decided to stop.
He's going to get a lot more gray.
Yes, we have decided to stop dyeing the beard, so we will go grey. We are going grey. I got a grey hair this morning in my beard too, so we're both making motions to getting old.
It's just like a real grown-up. That's amazing.
If anyone missed it today, Richard had a chat this morning with Atheist Pastor. Went quite well. He also had an after party on his channel. You all know where the links are and stuff. So go check out Richard's channel. And other than that, we will dive straight in. Except Richard can't see the fucking screen. Now he can.
That would be helpful.
There you are. Now
I mean, you can read it. And we'll
yeah,
talk about it.
yeah,
That'd be
yeah.
fine.
I'm totally blaming you for all of this mistakes. So, Richard.
This is actually one of... Go ahead.
No. I was just going to start, but if you've something to say.
Yeah, this is actually one of 5 streams I'm doing today. So...
Up from 6 o'clock this morning, very busy. And if I remember
up from
rightly...
3 o'clock this morning.
Are you an empathic atheists chat 2 hours from now? Yes, you're an empathic atheist channel. 2 hours from now, you're over there. We all met him last week. We had the debate over there, so... If you don't know Empathic Atheist, give it a like, give it a sub, jump over there afterwards, and I'm sure Dave will put all the links in the chat. Other than that, we are here to listen to Richard's craziness. I'm going to scream alien overlords every now and again, and let's have fun. So, Richard, if you can see that okay, I will pass over to you.
All right. Enkidu will protect the friend, will keep the comrade safe. Let his body urge him back to the wives. For those who missed last week, what this is the townspeople trying to compel... oh my gosh, stuck on a word. What's the name of this book again?
Gilgamesh.
Try to compel Gilgamesh to let Enkidu take the brunt of the adventure, that he get killed off first and protect Gilgamesh. In our assembly, we have entrusted the king to you, Enkidu. And on your return, you must entrust the king back to us. Gilgamesh spoke to Enkidu, saying, "Come on, my friend. Let us go to the Egelma temple, to Ninsun, the great queen. Ninsun is wise, all-knowing. She will put the advisable path at our feet." Taking each other by the hand, Gilgamesh and Enkidu walked to the Egelma. Man, that's hard to say.
Egelma.
The great, otherwise known the Great Palace. How did you say it? Egelma?
Egelma.
Egelma. To Ninsun, the great queen, Gilgamesh arose and went to her. Ninsun, even though I am extraordinarily strong, I must now travel a long way to where Humbaba is. I must face fighting such as I have not known, and I must travel on a road that I do not know until the time that I go and return. Well, there's a little bit of cockiness for you, yeah?
Oh, well, he's
Until I
obviously going to
reach.
win.
What's that?
He's obviously going to win. It's Gilgamesh.
It's obviously.
Yeah.
It's a given. Sure. Until the time that I go and return. Until I reach the cedar forest and I kill Humbaba the Terrible and eradicate from the land something baneful that Shamash hates. Intercede. There it is. I thought it was intercode. Intercede with Shamash on my behalf. If I kill Humbaba and cut his cedar, let there be rejoicing all over the land, and I will erect a monument of the victory before you. The words of Gilgamesh, her son, grieving, Queen Ninsun heard over and over. Ninsun went into her living quarters. She washed herself with the purity plant. She donned a robe worthy of her body. She donned jewels worthy of her chest. She donned her sash and put on her crown. She sprinkled water from a bowl while the preparation unto the ground. She and went. Oh, sorry, there's a pause right there where the clay tablet's destroyed. And went up to the roof. She went up to the roof and set incense in front of Shamash. She offered.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
And she offered.
Probably.
Fragrant cuttings and raised her arms to Shamash. Why have you imposed, nay, inflicted a restless heart on my son Gilgamesh? Now you have touched him so that he wants to travel a long way to where Humbaba is. He will face fighting such as he has not known and will travel on a road he does not know until he goes and returns and he reaches the cedar forest and he kills Humbaba the Terrible and eradicates from the land something baneful that you hate.
So all of this is just him. Gilgamesh went to Mummy. Mummy went, meh, and then she's away to shout at Shamash because Shamash made Gilgamesh want to go do this.
I think the really strange part here is that Ninsun would prepare to make prayer.
Prepare to make prayer. Everybody prays in these freaking things. You know, every religion has a prayer. Where does it say that?
That is true, but why does she not, all wise and all knowing, why does she need to prepare to advise her son?
Well, she's the spiritual leader. She's the one that interprets all these dreams and stuff. She's clearly, you know, spiritual leader. She has to do these things and get ready. It's, you know, go kill the monkey to get the monkey bones so they can throw it down and see what the prophecy says. These are all preparations that have to be done.
Anyway, it's got me curious.
Okay.
I think it's interesting. That's a style that I hadn't seen in religions prior to this.
Preparing for religion or preparing for prayer. You've never in any religion before seen anyone prepare for prayer.
Well, I did call her the Most High Goddess.
But you've never seen anyone prepare for prayer. Like, you know, there's no priests that put on silly outfits and light some incense and things like that. None of these religions anywhere prepare for prayer.
That would be historic to the earth. I have to agree with you. Of course you're right.
Yeah. Well, considering that we think Gilgamesh came from the earth, it would match in with the rest.
Who is this we that you refer to?
Me and the audience, all right? Me and the audience.
You and the audience. Oh, okay, well, all right. That's fine.
Clearly not you. Definitely not you. Right. On the next... Oh, well, that's the finish of this one, isn't it? Baneful you hate. On the day that you see him on the road, may Aja and Bride without fear remind you and command also the watchmen of the night, the stars, and at night your father, Sin. Yeah, backing up incense.
Look up this word Aja. I don't know what this Aja means.
May Aja the Bride. She must be another god of something. Aja the Bride without fear remind you. She must be some sort of spirit or something. Like, on the day I see you on the road, may the Holy Spirit without fear remind you. You know, do you get what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
oh, look, she's got incense.
I've already compared.
She's getting incense ready for the prayer. Wouldn't be like to do that in any other religion.
Oh no, they do it in a lot of places. Um, since I already am convinced that Humbaba is the beast of Satan, and the bride, the Aja bride, which I'm not familiar with that word, and this is, I think, the first time we've seen it.
Yeah,
in the
I would
story.
agree with you.
Um,
But it could just
I would be,
as I say, it could be something just in passing, not relative to the story. You know, see you later, dude. Catch it hanging or whatever, and it's just something they say as a phrase irrelevant to the story.
I don't think any of the parts of the story are wasteful ever. I would say that Aja the bride would be the bride in all the stories, and in which case it's the population of the earth. Yeah, I don't think actually, although all of it sounds really weird, and some of it even ham-handed and clumsy, I think it would look clumsy to our normal reading frame, but not necessarily clumsy actually.
Aja, isn't it? Aja, you were talking about. What do you call
Yeah,
her?
Aja the bride. Yeah.
Aja the bride. Yeah, Jonas popped in and said Shamash is of a higher order god, higher than Ninsun. Does anyone know who Aja the bride is? Okay, right. Moving on. Oh, there you go. She banked up the incense.
Yes, and uttered the ritual words. She called to Enkidu and would give him instructions. Enkidu the mighty, you are not of my womb, but now I speak to you along with the sacred votaries of Gilgamesh, the high priestess, the holy women, the temple servers. She laid a pendant on Enkidu's neck. The high priestesses took, and the daughters of the gods. I have taken Enkidu to Gilgamesh. I have taken until he goes and returns, and he reaches the cedar forest, be it a month, be it a year.
Oh
wow. 11 continuous inches of, or 11 continuous lines of clay tablet are missing. The gate of the cedar, Enkidu, in the temple of Shamash, Gilgamesh in the Egelma. He made an offering of cuttings, the son of the king.
And then 60 lines are missing.
Wow, how do you put this together? Enkidu will protect the friend, will keep the comrade safe. Let his body urge him back to the wives. In our assembly, we have entrusted the king to you, and on your return, you must entrust the king back to us. Enkidu spoke to Gilgamesh, saying, my friend, turn back. The road
is fucking awful.
This reminds me of Monty Python in the cave of the great crazy whatever name of it was animal. Arr.
No,
you don't write arr.
Well, that's a bad tablet. You know, I have to say tablet 4 is not great. There's a lot of shit missing from tablet 4, but
certainly,
yeah. There's not much to go on it from what we got. Enkidu's been sent. Enkidu will protect his friend, come back. You know, the crowd is saying, we are giving you our king, bring him back. You know, it's...
I'm going to call this the dog toy tablet.
The dog toy tablet. Yeah, we can go with that. Right, tablet 4. Sorry, tablet 3 was broken. Tablet 4. At 20 leagues, they broke for some food. At 30 leagues, they stopped for the night, walking 50 leagues in a whole day. A walk of a month and a half. On the third day, they drew near to the Lebanon. They dug a well facing Shamash, the setting sun. Gilgamesh climbed up a mountain peak. Nilibati made a libation of flour and said, Mountain, bring me a dream, a favourable message from Shamash. Go on ahead there, Richard.
What kind of a drink do you make with flour? That's weird. Enkidu prepared a sleeping place for him for the night. A violent wind passed through, so he attached a covering. He made him lie down, and in a circle, they, like grain from the mountain, while Gilgamesh rested his chin on his knees, sleep that pours over mankind overtook him. That's interesting. It's almost if that line claims he's not a man.
Nah, well, they've already said that. I don't know. I wouldn't. While Gilgamesh rested his chin on the knees, sleep that pours over mankind overtook him. Sleep that the same shit that overtakes every other man overtook him.
Oh no, you got to put the word "other" in there. See. In the middle of the night, his sleep came to an end. So he got up and said to his friend, "My friend, how surprising! Did you not call out to me? Why did I wake up? Did you not touch me? Why am I so disturbed? Did a god pass by? Why are my muscles trembling? Enkidu, my friend, I have had a dream. And the dream I had was deeply disturbing. In the mountain gorges, the mountain fell down on me, wet like flies. He who was born in the wilderness." Enkidu interpreted the dream for his friend. What's strange that Enkidu would be interpreting dreams?
Well,
My friend, your dream is favorable. The dream is extremely important. My friend, the mountain which you saw in the dream is Humbaba. What were you saying?
I was just saying that, if me and you woke up and you were freaking out and you turned around and said to me, MathPig, I just had this crazy dream, I would sit down and go, look, it probably means this. Doesn't mean that I can interpret dreams. It just means that two friends are out having a conversation and one freaked out.
If I take this as a religious story and I look back at the story of Daniel, and Daniel is the only interpreter of dreams, which also I think is a story of the Christ in end times, Daniel. That would be a long explanation as to why I said that.
Not relative to this one, though.
Moving on, though.
And written after this, if you're taking that into consideration.
Absolutely, much after this.
Yeah.
It means we will capture Himbaba and kill him and throw his corpse into the wasteland and not even have a pork roast of any kind. In the morning, there will be a favorable message from Shamash. At 20 leagues, they broke for some food. At 30 leagues, they stopped for the night, walking 50 leagues in a whole day, a walk of a month and a half. They dug a well facing Shamash. Gilgamesh climbed up a mountain peak and made libation of flour and said, "Mountain, bring me a dream, a favorable message from Shamash." Enkidu prepared a sleeping place for him for the night. A violent wind passed through, so he attached a covering. He made him lie down, and in a circle, they, like grain from the mountain. Oh, there's a line that wasn't there before. While Gilgamesh rested his chin on his knees, or was there a line, grain from the mountain?
I don't think there was, but there was a couple of question marks and spaces, so it probably was there and maybe fallen off.
Yeah. Sleep that pours over mankind overtook him. In the middle of the night, his sleep came to an end. So he got up and said to his friend, "My friend, did you not call out to me? Why did I wake up? Did you not touch me? Why am I so disturbed? Did a god pass by? Why are my muscles trembling? Enkidu, my friend, I have had a dream. Besides my first dream, a second. And the dream I had, so striking, so disturbing. I was grappling with a wild bull of the wilderness. With his billow, he split the ground, a cloud of dust, to the sky. I sank to my knees in front of him. He holds that encircled my arm. Tongue hung out. My temples throbbed. He gave me water to drink from his water skin. My friend, the god to whom we go, is not the wild bull. He is totally different. The wild bull that you saw is Shamash, the protector. That's weird. In difficulties, he holds our hand. Oh, that's strange. The one who gave you water to drink from his water skin is your personal god, who brings honor to you, Lugalbanda. We should join together and do one thing, a deed such as has never before been done in the land. At 20 leagues, they broke for some food. Okay, this is going to start again.
Yeah. Dug a well, went up to the top of the mountain. Enkidu prepared sleeping place. Rest on chance. Woke up, and there we go. I don't mean let's skip way ahead. I mean let's back up and review. It's the same repetition. It is the third dream, though. You know.
It's poetry.
It's the same thing. Poetry. I thought this was religious text, you know, that happened in stories. So
it's poetry in religious text. There's poetry in other religions too.
Okay, had a first dream. Gonna win.
Okay, so
had a second dream.
The difference in the second dream here is that it went a little bit further, and it's talking about the bull of heaven. And the bull of heaven is the protector, but I have to ask the protector of what, because in what I'm reading,
it didn't say the bull of heaven. It didn't say the bull of heaven. It just said the wild bull is Shamash, the protector. Shamash has also been used as the sun and referred to as a god. So,
good point. It does not say the bull of heaven. I think the bull of heaven in this story is going to be representative of Satan. The protector, and oddly enough holds hands. That's odd. Did I read that in the wrong? Am I remembering it in the wrong?
No. You're reading the actual text. It says the wild bull that you saw is Shamash, the protector. In difficulties, he holds our hand. Right? Now, it didn't say that in the dream. In the dream, he was grappling with a wild bull. So his friend's interpretation is that. It did not happen in the dream. And saying that somebody is here to protect you, that's a fatherly figure, that's somebody above you that will take your hand. You know, so we could say we're a shepherd, we could say you're going to take my hand. It's just an implication that this person is here to protect them. It's not an implication of something special with a secret handshake.
Oh, okay. So here's the part that my brain missed. He's not the wild bull. He is totally different. The wild bull that you saw as Shamash, he's not the wild bull. He is the wild bull.
No, the person that they thought that was from the first dream. Gilgamesh interpreted it, obviously, from these question marks missing as something else, as in possibly the first interpretation. And Enkidu's going, no, you fucked up. No, the first dream was the first dream. This second dream, the bull is not the person we're going to conquer. The bull is the person that is here to help us.
Okay, I think I follow. Yeah.
You know, one who give you water to drink, the one who brings honor to you. You know, he's here to protect you. Right.
I think I was expecting more repetition than it actually had.
Thank fuck it didn't. Right. Only did the 3 times. Third dream. Enkidu, my friend, I have had a third dream. There we are. That's where we are here.
Yeah, all the same. Same set of things. Did a god pass by? And the heavens roared, and the earth rumbled. Then it became deathly still, and darkness loomed. A bolt of lightning cracked, and a fire broke out. And where? It kept thickening. There reigned death. That's hard to say. Then the white hot named dimmed. Oh, the sun was dim. Okay, and the fire went out.
That might be flame. The white hot flame dimmed and the fire went out.
Yeah, okay, I'm trying to take it as it is, though.
Well, sometimes there was mistakes. You've seen that yourself. There was is, and there was on, and there was and things like that. So a white hot name or a white hot flame. It's probably flame.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, probably. That's probably a typo. Name instead of flame.
Yeah.
And the fire went out, and everything that had been falling around turned to ash. Yeah, I believe that's true. Let us go down into the plain so we can talk it over. Enkidu heard the dream that he had presented and said to Gilgamesh.
Absolutely nothing, because 40 lines are missing.
Really?
So no interpretation of the third dream at all, because it jumps straight to 20 leagues, broke for food, stopped. So we get no interpretation of the third dream.
Oh my gosh.
That would be something to definitely look into about possible different interpretations of the third dream.
Yeah, I was about to inquire about that with you. If you remember hearing something about there's more complete or they put different ones together with the same story and
yeah, there might be a tablet
filled in
out there
holes.
somewhere. This thing could be a couple of years old, and they may have found one since then. And this is just what we searched and found on the internet. But fucking 40, like the entire interpretation of the third dream is gone.
is not there, and the beginning of the next story, and probably missing an entire story.
Yeah, we'll see what dream this is. Is this dream fucking 5? Because then we'll have missed 2. But yeah, right.
Yeah, probably 5, maybe 6.
Fuck, right. At 20 leagues, they broke for some food. Go on ahead there.
I'll go ahead and skim down. This is all
Yeah.
the same.
Hoping for a favorite message. Sleep. Why are my muscles trembling? And then 11 lines are dreaming. Right, well, it was only the third that we missed. He has had a 4th dream. So we only missed the 3rd dream. But at 60 lines, that's a big interpretation.
Gee whiz. Okay, so we do have the interpretation of this one.
Somebody was so many cubits tall, and then no, the entire description of the dream, the 11 lines that describe the dream itself, are gone, and then we get Enkidu's interpretation of it.
I wonder what the second name after Humbaba there is supposed to be. Eke.
Who knows? Who knows? But we will get the interpretation of Dream 4.
We will achieve victory over him. Humbaba, against whom we rage, we will, and triumph over him. In the morning, there will be favorable message from Shamash. And then they started walking again.
Walk, mountain, floor, sleeping place. Call out to me.
Strong wind, call out. Did a god pass by?
Yeah. I had a 5th dream, and it was deeply disturbing. And it begins with, here, his tears were running.
A real professional would read the whole thing. Megan Lewis read the whole thing.
We're not professionals. Putting that out there. We are definitely not professionals. Do not take any of our interpretations as scholarly
Someone
work.
with serious training would know better than to skip parts.
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, one of us is crazy and the other one's mad. You take your pick.
It's hard to tell which one's which sometimes. The dream was deeply disturbing. Oh, this is different. His tears were running in the presence of Shamash. What you said in Uruk, be mindful of it. Stand by me. Gilgamesh, the offspring of Uruk Haven. Shamash heard what issued from his mouth, and suddenly there resounded a warning sound from the sky. Hurry, stand by him, so that he does not enter the forest.
Oh, I moved that fucking quick. Yeah, we're here.
Okay. And does not go down into the thickets and hide. How do you hide this mighty beast? He has not put on his 7 coats of armor. He is wearing only 1, but has taken off 6. That makes for good math. Gilgamesh and Enkidu. They lunge at each other like raging wild bulls. One name he billowed full of. The guardian of the forest billowed Humbaba like, and that says Humbaha, which is wrong.
Yeah.
Like, one alone cannot, strangers. A slippery path is not feared by 2 people who help each other. Twice, 3 times, or 6. A 3-ply rope cannot be cut. Yes, it can. The mighty lioness cubs can roll over him. Enkidu spoke to Gilgamesh, saying, as soon as we have gone down into the cedar forest, let us split open the tree. Oh, okay. That was the interpretation of a dream or something? Is that what happened there?
Jumping here, I'm not sure. Like,
that sounds like it was the interpretation of a trembling sun. Yeah, okay. Okay. We just didn't get to hear the dream. Where's the dream?
yes, that's the thing. We missed the dream. So Enkidu spoke to Gilgamesh, saying, as soon as we have gone down to the cedar forest. So that's the dream interpretation. And then this is the next thing that they do.
Are we done traveling?
I fucking hope so. It's been a long journey.
50 leagues or a month and a half journey in one day? Are we done?
We've only done 5 dreams. Let's hope they don't have a month and a half's worth of dreams. So here, as soon as we have gone
into the cedar forest, let us split open the tree and strip off its branches. Gilgamesh spoke to Enkidu, saying, "Why, my friend, we so wretchedly? We have crossed over all the mountains together, together in front of us, before we have cut down the cedar. My friend, you who are so experienced in battle, who fighting, you and need not fear death. Let your voice billow forth like the kettle drum, like the stiffness in your arms depart. Let the paralysis in your legs go away. Take my hand, my friend, we will go on together. Your heart should burn to do battle. Pay no heed to death. Do not lose heart." That's a terrible line. "The one who watches from the side is a careful man, but the one who walks in front protects himself and saves his comrade." And through their fighting, they established fame. As the two of them reached the evergreen forest, they cut off their talk and stood still.
So they've been slobbering for ages and they've just got to the forest. That's...
and they're going to be quiet while they're in the forest, yeah, for sure.
Well, the great beast lives in the forest, does he not?
Yeah, he can hear 10,000 leagues. I hope the forest is more than that. He'd hear them approaching.
There's always bad, evil things that live in them forests, you know. It's you have to watch out for trolls and sometimes unicorns, you know, watch out for the unicorns. Sometimes unicorns are evil. They'll spike you with their horn. You know, this whole idea that unicorns are nice. You know, unicorns aren't as nice as people make out. Right. So we missed out on one dream and one interpretation. And in the other order, we missed out on Dream 3's interpretation and all of Dream 4 itself.
True story.
Which is a bit, nah. But anyway, right. Tablet 5, Richard, go on ahead.
It's a bit choppy, but I think we'll make through anyway.
Yeah, well, we're not going to make any sense. So
it depends. What depends on whether or not all this actually happens. They stood at the forest edge, gazing at the top of the cedar tree, gazing at the entrance to the forest. Where Humbaba would walk there was a trail. The roads led straight on. The path was excellent. Then they saw the cedar mountain, the dwelling of the gods, the throne of Imini, the throne
dais.
Is that a typo or is that the actual word? Throne dais?
I have no idea. Dais.
Seems like an important word to mess up. Across the face of the mountain, the cedar brought forth luxurious foliage. Its shade was good, extremely pleasant. The thorn bushes were matted together. The woods were a thicket among the cedars, the boxwood. And forest was surrounded by a ravine 2 leagues long. And again, for 2/3.
So 2 leagues
suddenly
and 2/3.
The swords.
Yeah.
What's that?
2 leagues and 2/3.
Right. Never mind, I'm going to try to do the math on that. Suddenly the swords, and after the sheaths, the axes were smeared. Dagger and sword, alone. Humbaba spoke to Gilgamesh, saying, "He does not come." Enlil, that's so random looking right there. Enkidu spoke to Humbaba, saying, "Humbaba, one alone, strangers. A slippery path is not feared by 2 people who help each other. Twice, 3 times. A 3-ply rope cannot be cut. The mighty lion, 2 cubs can roll him over." Humbaba spoke to Gilgamesh, saying, "An idiot and a moron
are reading this story
to each other." What's that?
She says an idiot and a moron are reading this story.
You got to decide which one's which, though. "But you, Gilgamesh, why have you come to me? Give advice, Enkidu, you son of a fish who does
Son of a
not
fish.
even know his own father. That's interesting. Does not know his own father.
Well, he doesn't. Enkidu grew up in the wilderness. He was scrap left over and thrown out. Remember?
Well, that is true.
Obviously not going to know his dad. He grew up in the forest. And I would say the son of a fish could be son of a bitch, but old translation. You know, an insult by what I mean. In the context that it's being written, it's like, Enkidu, you son of a fish, you don't even know your dad, you know. Seems like an insult. I don't think son of a fish is relevant.
Well, a fish doesn't know its father. I mean, they lay eggs, etc. Most of them, not all.
We're not doing
Some
fish
are
biology,
placental.
but yeah, I get it as an insult.
Well, as it turns out, though, most people assume that fish only lay eggs. Some fish are placental, though not mammals.
Yes.
To the large, small turtle, which do not suck their mother's milk. Yeah, I think you're definitely good with the insult thing.
Mm-hmm.
When you were still young, I saw you, but did not go over to you. You, in my belly. You have brought Gilgamesh into my presence, and you stand, an enemy, a stranger. Gilgamesh, throat and neck. I would feed your flesh to the screeching vulture, the eagle, and the vulture. Gilgamesh spoke to Enkidu, saying, my friend Humbaba's face keeps changing. Enkidu spoke to Gilgamesh, saying, why, my friend, are you whining so pitiably, hiding behind your whimpering? Now there, my friend, in the coppersmith's channel, again to blow the billows for an hour, the glowing metal for an hour.
Right, they're
to
obviously
send the
just
flood.
interrupt here, right? They're making something here. Maybe an axe again, you know, the bellow, the fire.
Oh, I would think so. For an hour. To send the flood, to crack the whip. Do not snatch your feet away. Do not turn your back. Strike even harder. May the expelled head fell. And he confronted him. The ground split open with the heels of their feet. As they whirled around in circles, Mount Hermon and Lebanon split. The white clouds darkened. Death rained down on them like fog. Shamash raised up against Humbaba mighty tempests. South wind, north wind, east wind, west wind, whistling wind, piercing wind, blizzard, bad wind, wind of Samuru, demon wind, ice wind, storm, sandstorm. 13 winds rose up against him and covered Humbaba's face. He could not butt through the front and could not scramble out the back. So that Gilgamesh's weapons were in reach of Humbaba. Humbaba begged for his life, saying to Gilgamesh, you are young yet, Gilgamesh. Your mother gave birth to you. And you are the offspring of Rin... I thought there was supposed to be another letter there. Ninsun. At the word of Shamash, Lord of the mountain, that you were roused to this expedition. O scion of the heart of Uruk, King Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh, let me go.
Sounds like a fucking Queen song.
Your servant. What's that?
It says it sounds like a Queen song. Gilgamesh, 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 let me go.
Terrible. Wonderful, terrible. I mean, it's wonderfully terrible. As many trees as you command will I cut down for you. I will guard for you myrtle wood. Fine wood, fine enough for your palace. Enkidu addressed Gilgamesh, saying, my friend, do not listen to Humbaba.
And then 10 lines are missing because I doubt.
No, IO lines are missing.
No, IO lines are misring.
Misring. Yeah.
And Humbaba sees Dar Gilgamesh. He's now a pirate. Gar.
Dar Gilgamesh.
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 Well, Dave gets it.
Gilgamesh.
Dave's screaming in the chat. We will not let you go. Right.
Beelzebub has a devil set aside for me. You understand the rules of my forest. The rules. Further, You are aware of all the things so ordered. I should have carried you up and killed you at the very to the branches of my forest. I should have fed your flesh to the screeching vulture, the eagle and the vulture. So now, Enkidu, clemency is upon you.
It's up to you. It's up to you.
Oh, you're right, it is. Is up to you. So now, clemency is up to you? That doesn't even make sense. Speak to Gilgamesh to spare my life. Enkidu addressed Gilgamesh saying, my friend, Humbaba, guardian of the cedar forest, grind up, kill, really dissuading him, and destroy him. Humbaba, guardian of the forest, grind up, kill, pulverize, and destroy him. Before the preeminent god Enlil hears, and the gods be filled with rage against us. Enlil is in Nippur, Shamash is in Sipar. Erect an eternal monument proclaiming how Gilgamesh killed Humbaba. When Humbaba heard,
10 liners are missing.
The forest and denunciations have been made, but you are sitting there like a shepherd and like a hireling of his youth. Now, Enkidu, clemency is up to you. Speak to Gilgamesh that he spare my life. Enkidu spoke to Gilgamesh, saying, my friend Humbaba, guardian of the forest, grind up, kill, pulverize, and destroy him before the preeminent god Enlil hears. Well, why is he putting it off? Isn't it interesting that he's putting it off?
Well, I think from what I've gathered from the previous story, Humbaba had mentioned that he'd seen Enkidu earlier. Humbaba lives in the forest. Enkidu was raised in a forest, maybe not this particular one, but Humbaba has seen him, knows what the crack is, knows who he is, and possibly...
Yeah, but he's only using that as a ploy of leverage against Enkidu to convince Gilgamesh. Meanwhile, Gilgamesh waits while Enkidu encourages.
Yeah, well, he is using that, and then he's turning around to his friend and waiting. So there is hesitation because of what he's saying. He's trying to portray that Enkidu's his buddy, and Enkidu's like, no, he's not my buddy. Fucking kill him. No, we lost your camera, by the way, Richard.
That's okay. I ain't that pretty anyway.
Right. 10 lines are missing. He may not live the longer of the two. May Enkidu not have any share more than his friend Gilgamesh. Enkidu spoke to Gilgamesh, saying, my friend, one have been talking to you, but have not been listening to me. You have been listening to the curse of Humbaba. Yeah, so Enkidu's telling him, stop listening to this dick, just kill the cunt. Yeah, he's such a son of a fish.
So Humbaba is like putting it off and extending the time.
Yes, Humbaba's begging, don't kill me, Gilgamesh. I'm friends with your buddy. And Enkidu's like, he's not my buddy, fucking kill him.
Right.
As Enkidu says, you've been listening to the curse of Humbaba. Stop listening to the curse of him. He's lying. He's talking shite. Kill the cunt. This is not safe for kids. Okay. Okay, there you go. Pulled his insides out. Pulled his tongue out.
Oh, how sexy.
Then he jumped. Right, go on ahead, Richard. They cut through the cedar. Go on ahead.
Yes. They cut through the cedar. While Gilgamesh cuts down the trees, Enkidu searches through the Urmazalu.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Enkidu addressed Gilgamesh, saying, my friend, we have cut down the towering cedar whose top scrapes the sky, which is also the home of the gods.
Doesn't
Make
say
from
that.
it a door. What's that?
Doesn't say that.
No, it said it earlier. I just find it interesting and worth pointing out. Make from it a door 72 cubits high, 24 cubits wide, 1 cubit thick, its fixture. Its lower and upper pivots will be out of one piece. Let them carry it to Nippur. Who's going to carry it? The Euphrates will carry it out. Oh, that answers it. Nippur will rejoice. They tied together a raft. Enkidu steered it, while Gilgamesh held the head of Humbaba.
Tablet 6.
So they're on a raft of cedar trees with the head of Humbaba on the raft.
Mm-hmm. And a big giant door.
Well, it will be a giant door. Right now, it's just a raft of cedar trees. I think.
Yeah, probably. Why would you make a door and then carry it? How big is a cubit? Do you remember? I know it's a...
Well, there's a bit of argument about it, but it's something about 19 inches in the Egyptian cubit. That doesn't mean that when it uses the word cubit, it means 19 inches. That's an assumption that Christians normally make, it defeated by the text in other places.
So not 19 inches, I'm asking you then. If the scholarly people are all wrong with the 19 inches or the approximation of 19 inches, what do you say a cubit is?
No, a real cubit of the Egyptian cubit is about 19 inches. They're right about that.
All right.
It's just out of context in the story, not what the story's talking about is an actual cubit.
Oh yeah, it's like saying a foot and meaning 12 inches. I get what you mean.
No, it's like saying... Actually, it's not comparable at all, I think. It's like saying a foot as an expression not meaning a foot at all. It's only being used as an expression in other places I've seen cubit used. So cubit, it might be an expression here, I'm not sure.
Cubit is a measurement of length. You're saying it's not a measurement of length.
It's expressive. It's not meant to be taken literal.
So whenever they're describing how to build something and talking about cubits...
144 cubit is not 12,000 furlong. Yet in the Bible, 144 cubits is 12,000 furlong.
I'm not talking about the Bible, man. I'm asking you, you know...
Here, I don't know yet. We only have one reference, and there's nothing to confirm, deny, whatever, tell what it's talking about yet.
Okay, right. Well, I'm just going off memory here. Does it not use the term cubit to build the boat, to build the ark?
The ark? Yeah, it does.
Right. So you said that cubits are not to be taken literal. So in the ark, when it's describing how to build something and using it directly as a measurement, we are not to take it as a measurement.
No, not at all. Because it gives the measurement other places and uses the cubit expressively in other places. So 300 cubits is actually not 12,000 furlongs, I promise.
Right, but you see, this is the problem where I've mentioned before with interpretations and stuff. Everybody says that the most used version and the most, you know, when they're interpreting a word, the most used time this word is used is a measurement. But this one other time, it was used as something else, which can be used as, but very, very rarely, very rarely. And the one time it was used as that, you're then applying that across everything. No,
not what I said. What I said was in the Christian text, in the New Testament, it qualifies the actual measurement of heaven and says it is 12,000 furlongs. And that it never actually calls Noah's Ark the layers of heaven.
I'm not talking about furlongs.
But if used as a conversion factor, it all works out perfect.
Okay, never mentioned furlongs.
Not a cubit.
No idea what a furlong is. No idea. Didn't mention them at all. I directly asked you what you think a cubit is, and you've said it's expressive. That's not I'm just looking to see what it is.
A cubit's about 19 inches.
So it is a length of measurement, but it's not.
Historically, yes.
Okay, you're going around in circles. I'm not going forever because you're saying it is one thing and then you're saying it's not.
No, that's the difference between you asked me for a definition of what cubit is and you asked me how the word is applied. I'm not going back and forth. It's just, it's not used in its actual definition in the other text. So it's expressive. It's not actual. But a cubit's about 19 inches. There's some variance there.
So it's expressive but not actual, but it is actually 19 inches. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's okay. If that sentence made sense, that sentence does not make sense. Okay, moving along.
It's like me and you talking about and you're in Ireland and I'm in America and I say, "Oh wow, it just feels like there's 20 miles between us." It's like that. It's a lot more than 20.
I understand what you mean. But,
okay.
When they're talking in the context of the things, as you say, you have to take that into the context of the story. Knowing that we are further apart, that is used as a phrase rather than an actual description of measurement. But if I'm giving someone instructions on how to build something or instructions on how to get somewhere, I'm not going to be descriptive. I'm going to be fucking exact, and I'm going to tell you. So if it is right, so if I'm having a conversation and I'm writing down the exact distance between me and you, I'm not going to write 20 miles. I'm going to write the distance. I'm going to be precise. So in the context of everything, they're being precise.
Sure, it would be if that was the intent.
Okay, keep going for the out. Right, he washed his married her. Go on ahead.
Yeah, he washed his murd, or in American marred, hair and cleaned up his equipment, shaking out his locks down over his back, throwing off his dirty clothes and putting on clean ones. Where'd those come from? He wrapped himself in regal garments and fastened the sash. When Gilgamesh placed his crown on his head, a princess Ishtar raised her eyes to the beauty of Gilgamesh. Come along, Gilgamesh, be you my husband. To me grant your lusciousness. Be you my husband, and I will be your wife. I will have harnessed for you a chariot of lapis lazuli and gold, with wheels of gold and horns of electrum. It will be harnessed with great storming mountain mules. Come into our house with the fragrance of cedar, and when you come into our house, the doorposts, the throne dais, will kiss your feet.
By the way, dais, Mama looked it up. It's something like electum, which is something like a book that you read from.
Okay.
So it's not a spelling mistake. So the throne dais is like the throne book, or maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay. Thank you for the work. Bowed down beneath you will be kings, lords, and princes. The Lulubu people will bring you the produce of the mountains.
They sound like a really fun people.
As tribute.
They sound like a really fun people to hang about with. Where were we at the weekend? I was hanging about with the
Lulubu.
The Lulubu people, fucking having a good time, man.
Sounds like Dr. Seuss made it up.
Well, they're the one with all the produce, you know. They've got all the food and drinks and the goats.
Right.
Yeah. Fucking party people, them Labubu people. Or Lullabu. Right, sorry, go on ahead.
Well, that was a little boo-boo. It's okay. Okay, hold on. I got to swallow. All right. Your she-goats will bear triplets, your ewes twins. Your donkey under burden will overtake the mule. Your steed at the chariot. Okay, so great prosperity. Well, chariot will bristling to gallop. Your axe at the yoke will have ox. That should be ox. At the yoke will have no match. Gilgamesh addressed Princess Ishtar, saying, "What would I have to give you if I married you? Do you need oil or garments for your body? Do you lack anything for food or drink? I would gladly feed you food fit for a king. I would gladly give you wine fit for a king."
It says God for the food. Feed you food fit for a god.
Fit for a king. What did I said?
You said king twice.
Oh, sorry.
But just to point out, this is an obvious example of scriptural errors and things like that that can be implemented into the text as time goes on. You have read this.
Certainly.
We are at no rush. You are taking your time. And even just tonight, there's a few things that you've read that are this or that and made mistakes. It's, you know, these things can be exaggerated, and scriptural errors are a thing.
Of course. We found a few.
They were typos.
No, I meant, yeah. I mean, scholars, we, the human beings, have found a few obvious errors and corrected them. An oven who ice. That makes no sense. A half door that keeps out neither breeze nor blast. A palace that crushes down valiant warriors.
Well, just to say, an oven, right? If we're trying to pay out the things that are fantastic, an oven that cooks to the immense heat, and then something that keeps ice, you know, extremes. I don't think they're putting ice in the oven.
Could be.
I think there's
I hope not.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Maybe they're trying to make dry ice.
Sorry, go on ahead.
A palace that crushes down valiant warriors. An elephant who devours its own covering. pitch that blackens the hands of its bearer, a waterskin that soaks its bearer through, limestone that buckles out the stone wall, a battering ram that attracts the enemy land, a shoe that bites its owner's feet. Okay, so lots of useless stuff. So I think there is ice in the oven, maybe even ice powering the oven. Where are your bridegrooms that you keep forever? Where is your little shepherd bird that went up over you? Little shepherd bird? See here now, I will recite the list of your lovers. Of the shoulder, his hand. Tammuz, the lover of your earliest youth. For him you have ordained lamentations year upon year. You loved the colorful little shepherd's bird and then hit him, breaking his wing. So now he stands in the forest crying, my wing. You loved the supremely mighty lion, yet you dug for him 7 and again 7 pits. You loved the stallion, famed in battle, yet you ordained for him the whip, the goad, and the lash.
I'm thinking that this isn't a woman he wants to go out with.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Ordained for him to gallop for 7 and 7 hours. Ordained for him drinking from muddled waters. You ordained far from his mother's celluli to wail continually. You loved the shepherd, the master herder, who continually presented you with bread baked in embers, and who daily slaughtered for you a kid, yet you struck him and turned him into a wolf. So his own shepherds now chase him, and his own dogs snap at his shins. Oh boy. You loved Ishulana, your father's date gardener.
Oh, she's dating the gardener. Is that not like 70s porno at its best?
That is terrible. 70 what? 70 plus 2000 BC.
Yeah.
You loved Ishulana, your father's date gardener, who continually brought you baskets of dates and brightened your table daily. You raised your eyes to him and went to him.
Yeah, hussy.
Oh, my Ishulana, let us taste of your strength. Stretch out your hand to me and touch our vulva. Ishulana said to you, me? What is it you want from me? Has my mother not baked and have I not eaten? That I should now eat food from contempt and curses, and that alfalfa grass should be my only cover against the cold? As you listened to these words, you struck him, turning him into a dwarf, and made him live in the middle of his garden of labors, where the mihu do not grow up, nor the bucket of dates down. And now me, is me you love? And you ordain for me, as for them? When Ishtar heard this, in fury she went up to the heavens, going to Anu, her father, and crying, going to Anrum, her mother, and weeping, Father, Gilgamesh has insulted me over and over. Gilgamesh has recounted despicable deeds about me, despicable deeds and curses. Anu addressed Princess Ishtar, saying, what is the matter? Was it not you who provoked King Gilgamesh? So Gilgamesh recounted despicable deeds of you, despicable deeds and curses. Ishtar spoke of her father, saying, Father Anu, saying, Father, give me the bull of heaven, so he can kill Gilgamesh in his dwelling. If you not give me the bull of heaven, I will knock down the gates of the netherworld. I will smash the doorposts and leave doors flat down. And I will let the dead go up to eating the living, and the dead will outnumber the living. That's true. Anu addressed Princess Ishtar, saying, if you demand the bull of heaven of me, there will be 7 years of empty husks for the land of Uruk. I'd just like to point out that's 7 years. Have you collected grain for the people? Have you made grasses grow for the animals? Ishtar addressed Anu, her father, saying, I have heaped grain in the granaries for the people. I have made grasses grow for the animals, in order that they might eat the 7 years of empty husks. So she knew that was coming. I have collected grain for the people. I have made grasses grow for the animals. When Anu heard her words, he placed the nose rope of the bull.
Oh, yes.
Nose rope, all one word.
Yeah, makes sense.
The nose rope of the bull of the heaven in her hand. Ishtar led the bull of heaven down to the earth. When it reached Uruk, it climbed down to the Euphrates. And the snort of the bull of heaven, a huge pit opened, and 100 young men of Uruk fell in. At his second snort, a huge pit opened, and 200 young men of Uruk fell in. At his third snort, a huge pit opened up.
What's the bet's 300 young men fall in?
Should be, maybe 4. And we'll never know.
No.
Oh, and Enkidu fell into his waist.
Right. Well, here, do you know what we'll do? Because it's getting up near the hour.
That was a lot.
It's getting up near the hour. So what we'll do is we'll highlight here at the start with the bull of heaven coming down, because that seems like the start of a story. She's going to wreck shit. So we'll highlight there at the start of Ishtar. See if I can do this fucking thing right and go click that. We shall leave. And then, live production is just fantastic. There we go.
Oh, boy.
How's that? Yes, I think we're good.
So I see neither picture nor side chat. I read neither comment or thought. And I leave myself at your discretion to tell of me things that I cannot tell.
You still reading? I took the page away.
No, man, what I meant was, what's going on here?
Yeah. Well, we've hit the hour. We've got the end. We usually do the wee roundup. Richard, what did you think of tonight's episode?
It was lovely. It was warm and buttery. It made me feel like popcorn night.
So we got through the story of the forest. Humbaba is now dead. They are back at Uruk. The bitch has offered her hand in marriage, and it turns out she's a bit of a hussy. So she's away off to the bull to get the bull of heaven to wreck shit, because she's pissed
every
off.
time she romances somebody, she curses them. So I mean, I can't blame Gilgamesh for going like, "Look, lady, you're poisonous."
A nice way of putting it, yeah. But yeah. I suppose that's the way of the things. And then her parents called her out because she did these things. So
I'm not saying you're not hot and all. You're hot, but hey, come on, let's be reasonable here.
Dave's pointing out she's not a hussy. She's just horny as fuck.
Yeah, that always confused me. Why is it a man gets lots of action, he's a stud, a woman gets lots of action, she's not a studette? I think it should just be stud and studette.
And studette. Have you not been around for the last 100 years of female oppression? No.
I think it's a lot longer than 100 years, but yeah, I know of it.
Yeah. Right, next week we will be back, Richard, after this in 40 minutes. Yes, you have an interview on Empathic Atheist's channel. If
True
Dave
story
could be nice enough to pop a link in there for that, or someone else who's as quick as Dave, but there's probably not that many. Other than that, Richard, have you anything else coming up later in the week?
I believe we'll be doing every Thursday morning at 6. So this is going to be my new schedule, waking up at 3 in the morning on Thursdays. I'll be doing a series with Atheist Pastor, continuing the conversation that we started this morning. So that will be a regular thing. If Taub can ever figure out his schedule, we'll be doing Sundays. We'll be doing Genesis, Our Future, ? And we're trying to pick that back up if he can ever figure out his schedule.
Yeah, he works bad hours. Not very good. Tell him like.
Well, he's an independent contractor, so I understand it, So.
Yeah, well, these things happen. Right. Critical Cripple has found the link for the interview on Empathic Atheist. He has dumped that. This Sunday, I have Nez. Is a wee art channel community that I know of, that I hang out in an awful lot of time there. Whenever I need some peace and quiet, they just do some art, they do some painting. She's also a Christian. She's also a flat earther. She also watches Richie from Boston. So it should be a very interesting conversation. We're going to have her over Tuesday. Then after that, I have Divine Disbelief. We all know of Divine Disbelief. They've been popping up everywhere lately. So
Nate and Susan.
Exactly, man. We've jumped in there. We've grabbed hold of that. And we've got Chris Shelton coming up soon as well. The Scientologist. A few other people. So hit the subscribe button. Do all that YouTube stuff and all the rest of it. And everybody, I always appreciate you coming. As I say, without the viewers, there would be nobody watching. So, oink and out, and thanks again.